Hello guys, and welcome to today's video where we'll try to solve one of the problems for the 30 days of JavaScript challenge. So today's problem is timeout cancellation. Now let's go ahead and read the problem statement. Now it says here, given a function fn, an array of arguments args, and a timeout t in millisecond, return a cancel function called cancel fn. Now we already know based on this problem statement that the function here called cancelable will have to return a function called cancel fn. So we'll have to declare that function to create that function. Now, after a delay of a cancel time in millisecond, the return cancel function will be invoked. So after a certain delay, this function would be invoked. Now, initially, the execution of the function fn should be delayed by t, which is in millisecond. Now, if before the delay of t in millisecond, the function cancel fn is invoked, if before the delay of t millisecond, the function cancel is invoked, you should cancel the delayed execution of the function fn. Otherwise, if cancel fn is not invoked within a specified delay of t, fn, which is a function, should be executed with the provided argument as argument, right? Now we have we're gonna have a total of, I'll say, 3 functions. So first we have the main function that is called, cancelable, and then inside the function, I believe we'll have to create. This function, the fn function, is given to us, as you can see here. As you can see here, that one is already given to us, and this function will take an argument of this as it's specified. Sorry about that. As it's specified here. So fn should be executed with the provided argument. So this function fn would consume this argument. But this one is an array, so we want to populate. We want to only give this function fn the element that is inside the array of arguments. And this is just an example. So we are going to have a function fn that will take argument and can have some operation in it. And t would be the time in millisecond, and the output should be the time 20, and return value would be 10, since we are doing 2 times 5, which will be 10. And another example is here. So we have this function, the argument is 2 here. If we are doing 2 squared, we supposed to get 4. And then the t, which is in millisecond, this one would be 100. But the problem is the t millisecond here is greater than the cancellation time that has been provided. Now, because it's greater than the cancellation time, that means the cancellation function will happen, will occur or will be invoked first. So if it invokes first, it's going to cancel this function here. That's why the output is an empty array. So we have nothing. We have nothing. In comparison with this one, the t function, or the t in millisecond, the time was 20, and the cancellation time was 50. So 50 is greater than 20. So this fn function will happen first. And once this one has happened, we are going to have this result, but then we are going to return the cancellation time, but it's going to be later after this one is invoked. Now, if we go to example number 3, same thing. The argument is an array, so we have 2 elements inside the array. That's why we have x1 and x2. But then the operation here is we are multiplying these two elements. So x1 times x2, which 2 times 4 is supposed to be 8. Has to be 8, not supposed to. It's 8. 2 times 4 is 8. Now the t provided here is 30, and the cancellation time here in millisecond is 100. So this function will be invoked first, and this one will come later. So that's why the output is 30, and then the return is 8, which is the result of the operation. Now let's go ahead and start writing those functions. First of all, what we need to do is have a set timeout. So we are going to set a timeout for the function fn. So here it's going to be set timeout right, and then we are going to have fn here because we need to invoke this function, right? Fn here. Now this function takes can take one or multiple argument, or maybe no argument, depending on how it is being given to us. But pretty much it has to take some argument. So what we're gonna do is this one, because we're not gonna pass the array, but we want to pass the element that is inside the array, because remember this args is an array of elements. So we are passing that. So then this one will be executed, but we want this one to be delayed by t in milliseconds. So that's why we have the t here. And another thing that we want to do is we want to, let's go back here. So we have this one. So it says, given a function array. All right. Okay, we want a function. So given this one, we want to return a cancel function. So we need to define or to declare this function as well. Now, the goal of this function is to cancel the delay to invoke this function fn. Now, in here, what we need to do is create a cancel function. Create a function to cancel the delay for fn, right? Now here we are going to call it cancel fn, actually like this, which will be equal. So in order to cancel a timeout, we need to clear the timeout. Now we are going to have clear timeout here. And what we need to clear is this timeout right here. But we cannot just clear this way, so we need to make sure that this part right here, it is a variable, or it is a variable that we are going to pass inside this predefined function in order to clear this timeout. So we can call it constant, and I'm just gonna call it fn timeout, or fn delay. I think it's better. Call it fn delay. So now, because I have a variable here, now this one will be like an ID of this function that we created here, the set timeout. Now I'm going to take this name and pass it here, right? Now, the goal of this function, the cancel fn, would be to cancel this delay so that this one would not be invoked. All right. Now, once we have it, we know in order for the cancel function to also be invoked, there is a cancel time for that, which is given here, a cancel time ms, which we're going to set a timeout for also this function. So if the time, this cancel time given to us is greater than the t given to us, then this function will be performed first, will be invoked first. But if the cancel timeout is less than the t, then the cancel function will be invoked first. So for that, we are going to have a set timeout, which pretty much is this. We can actually copy and paste. So I'm just going to say set timeout for cancel function. So I can actually copy and paste this one. And once this one is done, remember it says here we need to return a cancel function. So we already declare or define a cancel function here. Now we can go ahead and return cancel fn. All right. So that is everything that we need for this one. Now let's go ahead and try to run this. Oh, something went wrong. What happened? What does it say? Set time. Oh, my bad. Set timeout. The O here needs to be not uppercase O but lowercase o. Let me make sure here it's fine as well. Yep, I think everything is fine. Let's run it again. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? Cancel. Oh, okay. Another thing is that this cancel time ms is not given, but they say you can use it here. So let's try to change this one. Instead of that, we are just going to put t and run it because the cancel, where is that again? This variable is not given to us, so I cannot use it inside here when it's undefined. That's why we have the error. So by doing t, since this one is being passed here, I think that should solve the problem. So let's go ahead, try to do it. And yep, as you can see, the code has been accepted. Everything successful. Case number 1 has been passed. Case number 2 also passed. And case number 3 passed. Now let's go ahead and submit the code. So this was just an example on how they want it to happen here. It's just all of this, I believe. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is the code. So we have this function here that will be used, but inside this function, so we are passing some argument for this function. Which one of them is the function? Another one is an array of argument of elements, and t here is the time in millisecond. And inside this cancelable function, we created another, like it's like a variable or like a function, right? Now this one, or it's like a variable that will be like an ID, I would say. Now this one, it's set to set a timeout of this. So after a specific time, this function will be invoked, and will be invoked after t time. Now we also created the cancel function that has the purpose of canceling this function if the timeout or the t for the cancel time set here is less than the t here, which a little bit doesn't make any sense because we are using the same t, but for some reason that resolved the issue and we were able to pass this code. But then at the bottom here, we set a timeout for cancel function, and we return the cancel function as they ask us to do. Now I am going to submit this code. And the code has been accepted. So this marks the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and feel free to leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, and like this video. See you on another episode. Bye bye for now.